Hi. Hello. I'm not quite ready, but it's fine. I never am. It's okay. Oh, go on, balance for me. Okay. I thought I had windows. It was me, sorry. What am I doing? This. Yeah. Okay, no, it's fine. Where's the app? There it is. Yeah, no, that was me. I bought a USB stick and it arrived today. And it occurred to me that I haven't actually tried it to make sure it works. So I was like, I better just quickly plug it in. Okay, purple, we're good. Should this be low? Yeah, does that look better than that? I don't think I can really do that without it falling over. I'm aware that like down there is looking quite dark. Oh well, we can just deal with that. So, hi friends. Oh, this is a vibe, but it's not on shuffle. Let me turn on shuffle. Okay. Yeah, so hi friends, I hope we're all good. Today I'm gonna do, well, I'm definitely doing Bottom of the Well, but I think today is Shadow Temple Day. Which I think is the thing I'm most excited for in the whole game. It's going to be so good. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I am very late, I'm sorry. In terms of what happened, I had to eat food, and then I thought I'll put on this video essay while I'm having my food. So I did that, ate my food, loving life, and then the video essay sort of kept going a bit, and I was like, okay. And then he kept on yapping, and I was like, okay, I'll just have a look how long this video is. It was an hour long. It was an hour long, and I was like, oh. I better stop watching this then, because I'm not getting to the end, otherwise I wouldn't have gone live till like 10. So, yes, the reasons why X-Men Days of Future Past is the last great X-Men movie is going to have to wait until after stream, and I'll resume it then. Yeah. But hi, I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, I'm doing alright. I had work. Oh, you know what? It's so hot in my room. It's gross. I don't like it. That's what I was going to ask you. Can you hear the fan picking up on the microphone? Because when I don't talk, the microphone cuts off and so it won't pick up. But when I'm yapping away, can you hear the fan? Because if so, I can turn it down. It looks very loud. If I just do that a bit. Just lower me a bit because I was like going way into red. Don't think you can hear it. Okay, that's good. I did quickly before stream as well. I did record myself and then listen to it playing back, but then I realised I could just hear the fan that's over there. So like, yeah, literally exactly the same as me, Barry. Like I was listening and I could hear the IRL fan, although I don't know about the recording fan. But oh well, it's fine. Yeah. I'm sure I had more yaps. I don't know. We had a shirtless man in store today, Barry. Just wandered in. Don't know. Just browsing for cards. Like, it was warm, but calm down, mate. Like, calm down. Yeah. Why do men? Just why do men? Who knows? Who knows? He was like surfer dude crossed with stoner, which I think are quite close anyway, but you know, that was like the vibe of him. Oh yeah, long hair. Like long hair, surfer dude, tattoos, you know. Probably quite like proud of himself, if you know what I mean. So yeah. No, tiny bit of sun and the t-shirt's come off. I know, honestly. But yeah. A 3-hour hair appointment today. Oh, that's long. That is long. But very fun. I hope it went well. Did you get anything done, or like, did you get any permanent changes made, or was this just like a style? But love that for you. We're home to like 3 fair. Ugh, grim. Yeah. I keep looking round, like things to yap about are gonna just appear, you know, around me, and they don't. But oh well. Not the type of words to be sat in chair having dryers and straighteners. Oh god, that is so bad actually. Yeah, that's very true. The heat of a hairdresser's. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh, I need to check the weather because some random person said it was going to absolutely chuck it down at 11 o'clock and I've got my skylights open. They were chatting shit. It's tomorrow it's supposed to rain. Oh yeah, tomorrow afternoon it's supposed to thunder and lightning. Love that for me. Okay. Oh, tomorrow it's going to be so bad in here because I won't be in for some of the day. So I won't have the windows. Oh god, that's going to be bad. Yeah, and I need to go to shop. So when does the rain start? The rain starts at like 1 PM. That's when I go to the shops usually. Okay. Well, okay. Right. Should we play some game? I want to play some game. So let's do that. Game. What notification have I got from Twitch? Oh, I got gifted a random sub to someone I've never heard of. Wait, no, I think I did hear. I think I do know this person. Why was I in your stream? Who are you? Ah, you were streaming Zelda, that's why. Okay, cool. Oh, Barry, also, I have to show you something. Do you know that Mimi has this emote? Do you know about that? Because every time you put your emotes in chat, I feel like I need to mention it. But Mimi has that emote, which I believe she drew herself. Yeah, thought I'd share that with the class. I love creatures. Okay. Yes. Oh, what did I do? I did something. I closed the wrong thing. I meant to close my music, but I closed the game. That wasn't smart. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So, at the end of last stream, we definitely did not go to Kakariko and trigger the start of something. I don't know what you mean. When we go to Kakariko this time, you will see nothing at all has already been triggered. Totally not. And we're all going to view it for the first time. Because I did not mess about with the event flags of my save file. Don't know what you're talking about. Oh, also, I changed... Oh, shit. I also, while going for a screenshot, may have left Moonjump on. There you go. Go away. Question. What do you think about... like, the UI up there? It does also hide the map, but I can make it look like that instead. I quite like that. Let's look for someone who might know something about the other sages. Because I realise that you can't see the minimap, so it is actually a bit helpful. Okay. What's happened here? I don't know, because I've never seen this before. Oh no. Never ever witnessed before, no. The cheek, look. You know what? Because we've never seen it before, let's view it like this instead. Get back, Link. Wow. I mean, oh no. Ouch. Mimi, I can't pause this. But thank you, Mimi. It's okay, Link's unconscious now, we can talk. Hi, Mimi, hello. Thought I said cheek. I think you just got cheek on the brain. I don't know what you're talking about. But hi, welcome in. There's still a jam in Caprica Valley, yes, yes. Right, let's go back to normal. Yeah, okay. Well cut, honestly. Honestly. That's new. But yes, how are you? How are things? I hope you're doing well. Link, a terrible thing has happened. The evil shadow spirit has been released. Impa, the leader of Kakariko Village, had sealed the evil shadow spirit in the bottom of the well. But the force of the evil spirit got so strong, the seal of the well broke and it escaped into the world. You're good, you forced yourself to go to the gym. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. You did so well, I'm sure. Wasn't feeling it, but I got a good workout. And still, yeah, that's so good. I believe Impa has gone to the Shadow Temple to seal it again, but she'll be in danger without any help. Link, Impa is one of the 6 sages. Destroy the evil shadow and save Impa. There's an entrance to the Shadow Temple beneath the graveyard behind this village. The only thing I can do for you is teach you the melody that will lead you to the Shadow Temple. This is the melody that will draw you into the infinite darkness that absorbs even time. Listen now to this Nocturnia of Shadow. Okay. Gonna go to a thrift store after, but I decided to go home and take a bubble bath instead. That sounds like a vibe. Sounds like such a vibe, honestly. Huge vibe, right? I'm not sure about this one. But okay. It was cozy, yeah. Y'all, I don't possess a bath. It's very sad. Let me take care of the village. I'm counting on you, Link. That's so sad, I know. Right, the other thing I want to do, because I always forget, is I need to find the House of Spiders. Because don't I get money for that? Ooh, I immediately found it, yay. I watched a video recently that said that this place is supposed to be darker than it is. I wonder if there's a fix for it. Fixes. Nope. No, it does not look like it. Okay. No, okay, never mind. Never mind. A bath is mandatory. I live in one room, basically. So, you know. Curse has been broken. Thank you. Here's a reward for you. Oh. Oh. If I equip a rumble pack, it will react to secrets. There is something for that. I'm sure there is. Ah, Visual Stone of Agony. Interesting. I don't know what that looks like, but interesting. Okay, cool. Right. I thought I'd get another bigger wallet, but apparently not. So there's still 3 more. Oh, is that what the icon is on my screen right now? Do I like that? So there's always going to be a little icon there now. See how we go. See how we go. Okay. Let me jump in. Oh. Ow. Big hammer. I have big hammer now, don't I? Let's try that. Oh. Oh, hi. Oh, shit. Oh shit. The very last thing I did was get iron boots. Can I equip the iron boots and push it? I feel like this isn't supposed to be here, which scares me. I haven't fucked something up, have I? Okay, no, it's meant to do this. Ah, I understand. Right. So, Your Honor, I have slightly just given away the secret of what it's supposed to be. But, Your Honor, I was worried that I'd messed it up by messing with flags in the game. But no, that's meant to be there. So... the windmill draws water up from the depths of the well. Now the well's dried up, though. Oh, that must have been very lonely. Oh no, Storm again. You played the ocarina, didn't you, girl? Wait, does that default to doing that now? Sorry, that's a really random question with no context to it, but... A long time ago, there was a man in this very village who had an eye they said could see the truth. Now, usually you have to train your mind's eye most strenuously to actually see the truth. But this fella, no, they said he had a different way of doing things. His house stood where the well is now. Might accidentally fall asleep, I'm laying down in bed. That's okay. Shall I talk? Oh. Oh, something happened. Okay, I don't know what to actually do. Because that's a Stone of Agony thing. But what do I... what do I do? What do I do? How do I activate a Stone of Agony? Because it's beeping at me. How do I dig a hole? Oh, okay, that wasn't a serious suggestion. Understood. Yeah. What do I do? What to do when Stone of Agony rumbles? Here we go. Oh, I can smash it with the Megaton hammer. Oh. Oh. Why would I want this? Sorry, I did something. To the UI. And I've decided I don't like it. But I don't know how to get rid of it. Because I can't remember what it was. Oh, I've made a mistake. Oh, reduce clutter. Minimal UI. There we go. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay, let me play. It's the Sun Song, isn't it, that freezes them? Sun Song. Oh no. Oh, I've made a mistake. I made a mistake. Right, I don't know why this is here. So I'm going to leave. Goodbye. Yeah, I know it's here. Wahahaha, look at this guy. Ever since he escaped from Hyrule Castletown, he's become even more timid. I tell you, I saw him. I saw the ghostly figure of Dampé the Gravekeeper sinking into his grave. It looked like he was holding some kind of treasure. Right, I gather what I need to do. I must return to Hyrule Field. And go back to the castle. This music's so good. Oh, hello. Oh, hi. You destroyed the wicked creatures that haunted the temple and awakened the sage. But there are still other sages who need your help. In order to awaken all the other sages, you must become even more powerful. You must travel over mountains, underwater. I'm doing this a bit late, aren't I? And even through time. If you want to return to your original time, place the Master Sword to the pedestal of time. By doing this, you'll travel back in time 7 years. The time will come when you'll have to return it quickly. I will teach this for you. I will teach this to you for when that time comes. The song to return you to the Temple of Time, the Prelude of Light. Something for notes. Okay. I think also I've lost my pen because it's not here. I don't know where it's gone. There it is. Right. And it is up, right, up, right, left, up. Okay. That's a gem. You've learnt the Prelude of Light. As long as you hold the Ocarina of Time and the Master Sword, you hold time itself in your hands. Link, we shall meet again. Bye. That's such a cool motif, I love it. Okay, I am little child again. So, I've got the boomerang, fairy slingshot, sticks, bombs, nuts, the ocarina, and I can't use my bow, the hook, the long shot, or the hammer. Okay. Understood. I'm also small again. Do I have a mask that I need to sell? Yes. Somebody needs a skull mask. Hey Pa, hello. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna go shopping. I'm a big boy. Be better. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I can buy a fairy. Interesting. I am okay. It's very hot in the UK. I don't like it. Got a Poe in a bottle. Something good might happen. Oh, it's in one of my bottles. I don't get another one. Oh. Oh, that sucks. I don't need anything there. And then this is the mask shop, right? Yes. Haven't sold the mask yet. Just have faith for a little while longer. Or do you want to trade for another mask? No. No, I know how it works. Okay. You bought a new laptop. Ooh. I hope there isn't a butt coming. Ooh. No, okay, good. It sounded like, you know, you've been better because you bought a new laptop but it doesn't work or something. I went, oh no. Oh no. Okay, I've not been as a child at all since I first pulled the Master Sword. It's my little sword. Oh, my little baby sword. All worthless, I tell you. Okay, okay. Will you give me some magic? Yeah, you will. Okay. No, I know that's there. If I go in here, the 2 kids are free. That's weird. Right, I'm going... Oh yeah, but I can't use the iron boots. Okay. Right, well I do know what I need to do because I may have already seen it. But... go round and around and around. What fun! I'm so happy! I'm a music man who loves to go around and around, go around and around. I'm trying to come up with a musical theme inspired by this windmill, going around and around and around. Well, bucko, have I got just the thing that's going to ruin your life? I love that emote, it's so cute. Go around, go around, go around. What? It's going way too fast. Yes, it is. Oh, it is going fast. Got me spinning like a ballerina. Sorry. Did he just sneeze? Blink and sneeze? Whee. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. It's go time, besties. For anyone that does not know about this game, I'm real hyped for this. Right, first of all, what do these walls look like? Because this could be absolutely fucked. Okay, it's not too bad. Okay. Oh, they're so big compared to me. Ow. Okay. Oh. I can hear spirits whispering in this room. Look for the Eye of Truth. That's what they're saying. Oh, the skull patterns on the random piles as well. Oh, that's cool but grim. Right, I don't know where to go then. What? What? Okay. That's cool that the camera doesn't go through. Right. Oh, okay, so I spy a water level that I can drain later. And I spy bubbles. Oh, that's foul. Hello. How do I stop that again? I can't remember. Or maybe I don't stop it. Maybe I just ignore it and run away. Oh, hi. Ah! Ow. Oh. This wall, it says something here. Danger above, that's what it says. Are there fucking floor masters again? Danger above? What about down here? Oh, stop it now. Right, get wrecked. Okay. Oh, that damages me. Okay. Yo, what were the dev team on? This is really intense. Like the hands coming up and oh. Ow. Okay, you're back. Don't know if I should be going up here. Okay, good. Hear the spirits whispering in this room. Look for the Eye of Truth. That's what they're saying. Well, now I'm just going to be walking along every wall to be like, are any of these fake? Oh, I know where I am. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if I fall through here... Oh, I can't. Okay. I got the bomb chew. Carry and place it with C. This is a new type of bomb that can even crawl up walls. Aim well and release it. That's... okay. I can't yet visualize what that's going to do for me, but sure. Oh, there's a thing behind me. Okay. So what says something here? Danger below, that's what it says. Oh, I need a key. Right. Come on. Oh, I have to press A to enter. Okay. Right, so the only other thing that I've currently found... Oh, okay. The water flowing out of this statue is flooding the entire floor. Right. You can go up walls, can't you? What about that? What? Huh? Okay, I need to better understand how these work first. Oh. Okay. Ow. Right. What if I set you off this way? Oh, you still fall down. Right, I think I have to explore down here again. Because there was more that I didn't look at down here. Just don't try, mate, don't try. Oh, fine. Right. Okay, so there's more holes. That's what I'm getting. And one of the holes gives me that money. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I don't think there's anything... Oh, what's it? Gonna be this way. No. And then what about this way? Oh, stop throwing them! Thank you. Oh. Yeah, well, absolutely no chance. Hey, dungeon map! Right. Let me look at this here map. Don't come back alive right now, thanks. Okay, so I've heartily explored. So that this is here. Right, I visualize where I am. But then according to this map, there isn't a divide there. Okay. Right, I'm on board. So, oh, I wish can I put that back? No. Right. Is there going to be some hole here by any chance? Quite possibly. Yeah. Not in the nasty water. Yeah, okay. Fine. Yeah, whatever. Whatever, mate. Right, I don't know then if I can get that. Or if that is purely just bait. So, the rest of this room should be safe. Because that just tells me where the holes are. Watch for the shadows of monsters that hang from the ceiling. Oh god. Oh, my sword does less damage in this dungeon. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I didn't phrase that very well. You do less damage as Child Link, which makes sense. Oh, okay. So you've given me those. But why? Why have you given me them? What if I set one off? Nothing happens. Nope. Don't wake up. Thanks. Nah, you just stay there, buddy. Okay. Right. I don't know what to do. Really, I'm there? Oh yeah, no, I suppose that kind of lines up. Oh. Oh! Well, that was cool, but my wallet's full. I am stuck. Apparently there's a room over here somewhere on the map, which, again, you can't see, I'm afraid. Oh, I can go in sideways as well. Ooh. Nope. Oh, shit. No. Fuck you. If that dropped a key, I would have felt so stupid. Right, okay. Oh, there's something over yonder. Which I don't think I've been down yet. Don't drop me, don't drop me, don't drop me. I mean, I can dive, can't I? I can't open that chest, but I can get up here. Oh, there's redeads in here, aren't there? Or Gibdo! That would make more sense, wouldn't it? Oh. Oh no. I've made a mistake. Oh, well now he's just on fire. Well done, you spoon. No, that way. Oh, Gibdo down! Yeah. More bats. Yeah. Oh, I got all of them! Oh, wow! Huge. Oh no, there's another Gibdo, great. My shield's gone! No! Oh, that's bad, isn't it? Right, if I play Sunsong again, what happens? Okay, you do freeze. Hi Bailey, hello. How are you, lovely? Ooh, key. Yeah, how are you, lovely? I hope you're doing well. Small key. Oh, stop it. I'm ready for the weekend. Love that. Oh, shit. Love that, though. Right, can you stop it? Oh. I have another weapon that is actually useful. There we go. Ah. Not me forgetting all about that. Nice, full health. I feel I need to stand in each one at least, just in case. Loot, please. Thank you. Okay. So I think I should go where that light was. Because I've seen 2 doors that are locked. I've seen this one, of course. Oh, and this one, right. But then also that one. I feel like I should go in that one. But I don't know why I think that. Oh. I forget what to do about these guys. Oh, nice. But now I've unlocked that door, though. Okay, we're good. Oh, it doesn't like a smoke gets in its eye. Noted. Oh, whoa, stop it with the little holes. Okay, stick round to the side. There's another hole. Right, what does it look like on the map? That doesn't indicate holes, really. Okay. But then there's another hole there. Oh. Okay. Okay. I fell straight in a hole. Straight in one. Isn't the most enjoyable game design, to be honest, having invisible holes in the floor. Well, oh well. Right. Nice. Let me engage the brain. Absolutely over there. Fuck you. I think I can just go straight. And then over here. Okay. Oh, you messing. Right. Where's this fucking hole? Okay, so I've just got to tiptoe across then. Is that what I'm learning here? I just have to tiptoe across in front of it. If you say that was cheating, shut. I'm fed up of going down. Falling down this bloody hole. Immediately go this way. Stop it. Then I can go over here and over here. Yes. Oh, another shield. Yay. You don't hear anything. I don't know what you need. Oh, no. No, I can't be arsed with this fucking thing. I can't be arsed with these bloody holes. Okay. Out of this room. Into the pause menu. Right. I think I'm supposed to bomb it on him. Okay. Cool. Cool. Thanks. Love that. Right. Have I learned all the songs but one now? Yeah, nice. Yay! But wait, now that leaves me keyless again. Oh, I don't understand this place. Actually, stop it! getting close to Googling this. No. Nah. No, absolutely not. Okay, I can't defeat them, can I? I just run away. No. No, I'm not doing the holes. Don't know how I'm meant to proceed. Why can't I get the map back? Where's my map gone? Fuck you. There's my map. Right. Is there any way I can avoid that hole? Can I just go like that? No. Because I don't just want to moon jump over it. That sounds really scummy. But if I can't find any way up, then I don't know what else to do. Oh, E. No. Absolutely not, thank you. Thank you. I'm actually gonna have to Google it. I've got no idea. No idea what I'm meant to do. Well. Yeah. Yeah, Song of Storms, yeah. Done that. Yeah, I'm a child, yeah. Yeah, within the well. Mm-hmm, yeah. Oh, I just play Zelda's Lullaby. Are you kidding me? Are we struggling? I'm not thriving in this place, no. Right, okay, fine. Okay. Well, that's really draining. Yeah, okay. So then I can go down here. More bombs. It's like it's trying to tell me something. I've got a quarter of a heart. I'm going to die. Sick, thanks. I know what's in this room. I know what's happening here. Okay. I forget, Barry, if you know really anything about this game. And thus if you know what's in this room. Not to call you out, sorry. You don't fancy it again. But here we go. I don't know the strat for this. I think do I just attack one of the arms and then something happens. Yeah, no, so I can't get near the arm. Okay, okay, okay. Understood. Learned. Ooh, boomerang. I bet that works. I'm not sure that did work. No, I don't think it did. Do I have to let a hand get me? That's weird. Dead hand. Watch out for its infinite hands, aim for its head. E. E. I was getting absolutely destroyed in Final Fantasy, no worries. But yeah, no, practically nothing about this game, that's so okay. Oh shit. Okay. We have to do it. This is why I installed a HD texture pack. Because I want to know what fucking Dead Hand looks like in HD. Okay, about the same. Ooh, you're so nasty. Is there really no other way to spawn it than get grabbed? Oh, it's here. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Whee! Ooh, that was grim. Oh, don't twitch. Oh, I bet I could have done a spin attack, couldn't I? And the lens of truth. Press the button to look through it. Mysterious things are hidden everywhere. Be sure to try and use it outside of the well. Seeing the truth will cost magic power. Oh, so press C to stop using it. No. I didn't mean to put it there. Oh, fucking shut up! I'm gonna try and run some water down it, trying to stop it from going. maintenance is coming on Tuesday to look at that. I think I made it worse somehow. Jesus Christ! Okay. Not impressed. Don't trap me in a corner, thanks. So, from what I've read, I can just leave now. I can just go, but I won't. I'll still try and finish it. Right, so there was an invisible something somewhere. Here, I think. Ah. Oh, huge. Okay. Oh. I was expecting a key. There's no way in there. Oh, there's a sidewall, right. Okay. Okay. Compass! What, so even more this way, there's another one. Wait, it's down here somewhere. Oh no, I've done that. What? Huh? Hey, huh? What? Huh? Oh, I don't know. Eee. That's so weird. Why'd you do this, Elder Team? Why have you done this? And another one. Frankly, the Lens of Truth feels like having cheat codes. Like, I'm here for it, don't get me wrong. But, like, this is weird. And then what's in here? Oh, this is all that's over here, right. Sure thing. Okay. Got it. So these are just optional extras, basically. There's no fuckery going on. Some fuckery went on. What was that? Okay. Okay, and thus, I think I've finished it, haven't I? Have I finished it? No. Oh, was there something behind the boss room? Oh, yeah, and that as well. Wait, no, over here. Yeah, this. Nice. And then the boss room. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and I've got all the Skulltulas. I've got the little Skulltula icon. Cool. Nice. So I'm just in that sort of mood. The amount of fuckery this place has put me through. I'm moon jumping over it. Right, something else in here. Oh, just an invis chest. Thanks. Thank you for that. Okay. Now that we're through with it, let's turn off moon jump. And let's get out of this shithole. Oh, thanks. Let's go, heck yeah. Okay. So one thing I do want is to get some fairies. I suppose I could go up Death Mountain quickly. Because that's the nearest place I know. Yeah, that has fairies. Wait, no, I should do that as an adult. Because I also need to go to the Poe Collector. Yeah, okay. So let's go and be a big boy. Can I buy another Poe? Yes. So now I've got 2 Poes and 2 bottles. And I don't know what I get for them. Okay, big boy time. And I can use the Lens of Truth as an adult. Love that. Oh, shit. Right, Poe Collector. Hello. A Poe, you could say. Sorry. You have a Poe? I will buy it. Your card now has 0 points. Come back again. Lad, I have a Poe. Oh, you brought a Poe today. This is a normal Poe. Here are your 10 rupees. What's Poe today? It's a normal Poe. What? Right. I seem to have rather wasted my time there, but okay. Ooh, this is a lovely time of day. Stunning. Now I can Lens of Truth everything just for fun. Right, I'm gonna do a quick squiz up to Thingamajig. Great Fairy. Oh, leave me alone. Thanks. Yeah, no, that's good. Oh, don't do anything, don't do anything, don't do anything. Okay, that's fine. I thought once I had the Lens of Truth, maybe I could talk to them or something. But I guess not. Also, there's no fairies here. Have I been a spammer? Because I wrongly remembered that there are loads of fairies here. Spanner gamer time, actually. Thanks. I've come to you for half a heart of damage. I look like a real baby now. But there are those little ones that have loads of fairies in them. Where are they when I need them? Hello. Aww. You are big, aren't you? Yeah. Oh shit, the bed. Okay. Wait, I can teleport. Walk to the graveyard. Yes. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. Well, I have an idea. Will this get all of them? Because that'd be sick. That was really very obvious, but I still feel cool. Okay, Shadow Temple. Oh, right, okay, so at every turn, I should also be doing that. The shadow will yield only to one with the Eye of Truth handed down in Kakariko Village. Only one who has sacred feet can cross the Valley of Death. What on earth do you mean by that, sir? Huh? One who gains the Eye of Truth will be able to see what's hidden in the darkness. Shadow Temple. Here is gathered Hyrule's bloody history of greed and hatred. And sacred feet. What is hidden in the darkness? Tricks full of ill will. You can't see the way forward. What is this business? What's in the darkness for choosing the fancy way forward? Yeah. Oh, immediately we fight again. Okay. Oh, I can see a shadow. Oh, so that's where it's going to spawn. Oh, fuck. He took a bite of me. Eee. Can I, like, whack? Oh, no. Whack his hands or something. No, I cannot. Bonk, dead hand, let's go. Fuck you. Oh. No, I can't. Oh, okay, that's it. Easy peasy. Light work, dead hand. What I should be aware of. No, also how long? Oh, I see. Come back. Thank you. Okay. I've got sacred feet. Let's go. You can use these to walk for short periods where there is no solid ground. Be brave and trust in the boots. Is there any reason why I wouldn't have those on at all times? Yes. Yes, there is reason. Okay. Understood. One against the eye, people will be able to see what's hidden in the darkness. Oh no, don't do that. Oh, you really stay dead for a long time, eh? There it goes. Oh, yeah, no, I know that. Okay. Map? Question mark? Please? Yes, let's go! Okay, I don't know anything about this dungeon's layout. Oh, that's big. Okay, so we need the sacred feet, first of all. Make my beak face the skull of truth. The alternate is descent into deep darkness. Okay, well the real one surely is the one that doesn't vanish. Oh, no! Hey, okay, I wasn't done. I let go of A. That's not a crime, game. I let go of A. Does it change? No, it doesn't change. So what do you mean? Maybe it does change and it changed back or something. Okay. Well, it's sacred feet time. Whee! Oof, only just. Okay. Sacred feet time. Yes, yes. Okay, so these things need... Then... Can I actually kill these things? Either direction. What looks good on the map? This way. Oh, I've seen this room before as well. Here's a look. Ooh. Yeah, it looks real cool. Okay. Oh, it's like a little maze thing. Bit close. Oh, okay. That probably shouldn't have worked, but it did. Oh, I don't have it equipped. Oh. Ow. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong thing. Okay, well that worked. It was a bit of an N64 job, but it worked. Nice. Is this just a fuck you hole? Oh no, it's not. Okay. Where? Oh. I assumed this was the spirit temple. Oh, that's exciting. This really interests me. Let me see if I can find some good photos. Because it looks like that, right? With a sort of weird... You can't see it, but oh well. A weird bird beak sculpture thing, right? But on 3DS, it's got that as its, like, head thing. What's that about? That they changed it so. One compared to the other. Huh. And because of its, like, long red hair, I assumed it was Gerudo-centered, so I thought it was in the Spirit Temple. But no, it's here. That's cool. Ow. Walk it off. Okay. So that's this area done. Right, okay, I see. Okay. So I should now go t'other way. Oh, hello, you're back. Nope. E. Yeah, hi. Wait, fire worked really well on these guys. Let's do this. I forgot that uses my magic though. Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. I mean, I could get the compass, but that would be a bit fast. Okay, cool. Compass. So, map assessment time. So I can go in the middle, but that looked sealed off. So can I bomb it like the olden days? No. Yep. Oh, that's funny. That, like, this whole time it's trained you to use the thing, so you're like, no, it's a real wall, and forget that you can still just bomb it anyway. Oh, I see you there, Skullstar. I see you clipping through. I knew you were there. I was totally on board with that. Yep. Oh, have a day off, will ya? Ooh. Yeah, for anyone that didn't know, this temple's fucked. The shadow of the monsters hang from the ceiling. Fine. It looks at yeah. I think I'd just be on the floor, curled into an anxiety ball if I wouldn't actually, though. Okay, so this turned into a Mario level. Why is that there? Ooh, okay, fast travel back up. That was cheating. Oh no. Stalfos. Lure it close and watch it move carefully. Yeah, okay. Oh, nice one, see ya. Bye. Right, Lens of Truth says go this way. If I consult the map quickly, where am I? Why can't I see myself? This looks worryingly like a mini-boss. I'm calm. And not scared. I'm calm. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, E! E! Get off! That's disgusting. Thank you. Ew, yeah, I know. Ow. Oh, I don't even climb that, I just hookshot them or something. No. Really? How do I get them? Because I would like them. Like, I'll live without them, but I don't know how to get them. Okay, fine. Oh. Do I have to kill all these? Oh. Okay. Nice. Yeah, no, that looked suspicious, it being off to the side. Okay. Oh yeah, this was completely optional, so there won't be anything in here. I'm gonna, just for fun, put on the Sacred Feet as well. Because it'll just make this a bit less stressful. Sacred Feet, just for fun, yeah. What of it? Oh, my shield's not equipped. Oh. Yay. What? Okay. I don't know which way to go. Which way should I go? Down I should go. Oh, that's cruel. Making them spin in opposite directions. Wait, what? Don't see me. Ew. Oh, no. Ah, so I don't have a key. Oh no. Okay. Oh, I see the extra one. It's inside you. Sure, okay. I think I was meant to kill it, but I can't remember how to do that. So I just didn't. Only the one with the Eye of Truth will find the stone umbrella that protects against the rain of blades. Is this the umbrella that protects against the rain of blades? I mean, don't get me wrong, I see it. Hey, get wrecked. Hang on, my little noggin's just cut something else though. Oh, I can get hit. Okay, more arrows. Yeah. Because do I actually want to protect against the rain of blades? Can't I? Oh no, I can't climb it. But I see the vision, which is get on top of one of those. But I just don't know how to make that happen. I think the answer's no. Oh, didn't mean to do that. No, I can't run up walls with these, okay. I don't know how that's helped me, really. Right, there's apparently a chest around here. Can't read the sign anymore. Broken it. I don't know what to do. can't get to this from the floor above, can I? No. There's no other entrance to this room. Oh shit. Don't. See any way up. Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Keep your faith, done that. Yep, Constance Rocky, done that. Yep. Yepers. Yep. Okay. Use the lens of truth to find a stone block in the cupboard. Pull it out, push it under the trap. You want to position it so it's right between the two. Okay. Yeah. Now into the end of the room and pull the block all the way to the edge. From there you can jump on top of the block. No, I can't. Oh, I can. Boo, stinky game. Right. Okay, I thought it would just be invisible, but sure. Please, Link. Yay! Nothing else? Okay, let's go. So, I believe I should go through here now. Yay! Oh, yo, love that for me. Oh. Nope. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. Right, this is what I don't understand. How to get up. Like there. Oh. Yeah, no, I should kill them. I did think that would open the gate. I will be honest. Right. Oh, right, so I came from here. So if I go in there, there's just like a little boss room looking thing. And then straight ahead to where I actually want to go. Right. Oh, sneaky. Ugh. I'm so fed up with these lads. Would you please? No. Ooh. That looks like a throwable distance. Nice. What? Okay. Yay. Oh no, I still have to kill it. Oh, can't be honest. I actually hate you. I don't care that I shot 3 arrows. Worth it. Worth it. Right. So... Okay. I'm on board. Oh, it's freaking windy. Stop that. Oh no. Are you saying iron boots? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that was just uncalled for, wasn't it, really? Right. Right, I guess I'll just wait here then, shall I? Why would these be here? I need that answer, truth. No. Yep. Nice one. Does it have to be with a bow? No. Ah, when it opens its eye, okay. Absolutely clobbered, lad. Oh, hello. Yeah, I can hear the spirits whispering in this room. Those who have sacred feet should let the wind guide them. Then they will be led to the hidden path. That's what they're saying. Interesting. Ah, okay, sacred feet. I don't know if I want to be here, to be honest. Oh, E, nasty, get off. Okay, stop it! Jesus Christ. I've got my shit shoes on still, that might be why. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Give me the weapon that works against them immediately. That's funny. Fucking get away! No, I'm done, aren't I? Okay. I'm somehow not dead. Okay. Cool. I'm very calm. Maybe get some health, please? Some health might be good. Also, I don't know which way I came in though. Oh. Okay, I've worked it out. Rupee, that's 5 rupees. Yay, Smokey! Oh! Oh, okay. May I also have something to maybe restore my health? That would be very nice. No? Okay. That's riveting. Oh. How would one get over there? Okay, I'm just on my way to the boss, right. I thought I missed something, but maybe I didn't. Well, I would like that health. I don't know how to get there. Okay, well. Well. I need to sneeze. Okay, and off I bob. I can't control this, so I can't go and reach them or anything. I wonder how I get them. Ugh. Right. Well, okay. Would I like to save? Yes. Yes, continue playing. Where am I going to be, though? Oh, no. I think I see why they put in a shortcut fast travel thing. Wait, I've only got 3 hearts? No, I'm not having that. Nah. No, I can't abide by this. Okay. It's somewhere in this place that has fairies. What's a poe? I also need to sneeze. Oh, she can't deal. Where can I get fairies near here? Fairy fountains. Where can I find fairies? Oh, there's one in the graveyard. Oh, amazing. Thanks, Google. Right, in the graveyard, pull the front grave with the flowers behind of it. Or the front grave with flowers in front of it back. Then inside the hole is a chest with a bomb of a wall behind. Yeah. Okay, amazing. I've already been here as well and I forgot about it. Okay. That was immensely helpful. But now, Ocarina. While this is happening, I need to go on BRB. You probably know why, but one sec. That's better. Game though. Okay. Right. So now I've got this. Now I believe. Yeah. Okay, sacred feet. Oh, I'm an idiot. Right, equip the sacred feet. Oh my god. Thank you. Oh, I remember why I thought I was going the wrong way. Okay. Right, where do I go for the secret shortcut? Okay, I understand. I go through this way. Was it this one down a hole? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, it's good this is here because that would have been a long way to reset. Oh, excuse me. And then I'm going to fight somebody and not die immediately. Yes, hello. This is cool though. Oh, is there another one behind me? Oh no. Oh shit. Oh no. Why walk like that? What, just scoot sideways constantly? Ow. Also, I'm already on about half health. This has gone very wrong. Skill, shut the fuck up, Barry. Go back to playing Final Fantasy. Thanks for being here, friend. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, we're bobbing along. Oh. Your eyes were hurting too much for Final Fantasy. Did you do your dailies? Oh no. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. But like, lad, could you... Oh, the other one's gone. See ya. Mate, come on. Oh, fuck you. Lake ship sinking, abandoned ship. Where's safe? Oh! Oh. Fuck off. Honestly, no. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. Right. Oh, the other one's gone, surely. Oh, you saved it. No. No, no, no. Heck, heck. Right, fucking goodbye. Any, like, health, maybe? But, like, do you maybe have any health for me? Hmm. Oh. Ah, that's nasty. Oh, this is some mitosis shit, isn't it? Ah, it's Twinkly Tor. Okay, where do I want to even go? Okay, so I came in there, so I want to go this way. Because this way's got like chest and stuff. That's not foreboding at all. I don't know what to do. What do I do? Ceiling, probably. Can I long shot anywhere? No. Why can't I long shot somewhere? I actually don't know what to do. I mean, I see the re-dead, so I can, like, Sunsong, maybe. In case that just does something. But it's not giving me the little thing, so probably not. Yeah, no, that doesn't stop the wall. Okay, can I... Nope. None to do with the gaps, they're not relevant. I mean, they're made of wood. And so can one of those two help me? It does help me. Oh, that's amazing. And a boss key. Yay! Okay. So then on my map, there's sort of nothing in that room. But I'll go in there anyway. Oh, is it going to be a shop room, maybe? No, it's not. That's not a shop. I know immediately what it wants me to do. And I don't want to do it. Yeet! Huge! I'm so good. Oh, I'm a god. I'm the biggest pro. I'm actually quite happy with that. Won't lie. But why did I do that? Was it just literally just to get money and fill in a room? Like, that was a bit weird. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yep. Okay, fully optional room. Love that. I'm not dealing. Just goodbye. An invisible one? Okay, well, I kind of know why you've introduced the concept of invisible enemies. Yeah. I'm on board with that. Could I, like, maybe get some hearts or something, though? You know, you're giving me all this magic, which I appreciate, but, like, hearts, maybe? Okay, that's fine, too, I guess. Hey! And so I actually have to go back this way. Oh, no, I understand. I understand why this thing's here, I think. Can I Sacred Feet my way through? No, don't do that. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, maybe I don't get it. No. Yeah, no, I've got a really sick idea, but I don't know how to execute my sick idea. Oh, shit. Ah, like that. Sick idea executed. I actually don't know how to do that. And I don't think I really care. Hi Blair, hello, how are you? How it going? I'm mentally knackered. I've had enough of this. I think we are right near the end. Yeah, we are. You're actually good, yeah, let's go. Pretend I said that and didn't sound surprised. I suddenly realised what I just said. Shut up. No, I just realised the way I said it, I was like, oh, not like that. I want the heart, okay. No, you didn't. You didn't tell me what happened either day. I don't know what has occurred. Oh, I don't know how to get these. I'm not sure I can be bothered. Should I just moon jump? No. No, I'll be better than that. Ah, whoops. What happened? Okay, so Thursday's more dramatic. Okay, first of all, you're welcome to. Do you want to tell me this on stream, or do you want to DM me? Wednesday's more standard. Okay, okay. Thursday was uni shit. No. I should just leave this equipped, shouldn't I? Whee! Whee! Oh, shit. Okay, that's fine. Whee! This room's cool, though. These shoes look so weird. I would like to have had more health. Right, I'm gonna get a drink before we do this boss fight. Because wowie zowie. Summary, academic was meaning I may request a new assessor. Oh, okay. I mean, that's fair enough. If it was not, like, good, then very meany. Okay, proud of you for, perhaps requesting a new one, because, ew, that's not good. That's not good at all. But, yeah. Sorry that happened. You cried for 2 hours. No. No, I'm sorry, friend. I thought I had the boots on before I made that jump. Oh, God. Right, fine. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, though. That's, real shit. Tis fine. No, tis fine. Oh, my health's even lower now. Is a next week problem. Fair enough. Oh, yeah, it's Friday. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's Friday. Love this. Link is a mood. Yeah. You know what? I worked all 5 days this week. And I didn't even, like, think, oh, yeah, it's Friday. Link, shut up. Well, technically true. It do be Saturday in the UK. This is true. Okay. Shall we do this fight? Shall we do bongo bongo? Is that milk? Yeah, it is. It's always milk with me at this time of day. Why do you ask? Jeez. Truly, yes. Okay, let's go. Oh, that's not foreboding. Do you have any words to say to me? No. Okay, look, me and my friends have been quoting that all week and I have no idea why. Fair. Well, you have fun with that. Love that for you. Oh, that is a drum down there, isn't it? Okay, should we do this? Ow. Let's go. That is a drop. Phantom Shadow Beast. Bongo Bongo. Right. I have to shoot its big not eye head thing, right? Oh. Oh dear. That's already gone wrong for me. Arrow, good. I've been punched. Okay. I'm a little worried for what happens if you run out of magic during the fight. Oh, shockwave. Can I hit his hands? Is that something I should be striving to do? I don't know. Ow. Right, in order to get this lad to open his eye, do I have to avoid his attacks? Because like, that's a thing sometimes, right? Where were... Oh. Okay, he just tries to get away from me. Right. Oh, I can hit the hands. Oh, okay. Ow. You little bitch. Weird jiggly hands. They are a bit weird. Too late for spelling, truly. Oh, can I get both his hands at once? Oh, both of his hands. Let's go. Right. Ow. Right, okay. Oh, oh my god, I can just shoot his hands. Am I chronically stupid? Oh. Ow. Yo, I'm just eating his damage. Absolutely eating it. He's going through so uncomfy. His design's weird. Because, like, has he been beheaded? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Alright, there we go. No, I've died again. Oh, it's your gecko's birthday. Love that. Happy birthday to your gecko. I don't know your gecko's name. I'm sorry. Hey. Right, I shot you. Thank you. Did I do it? Oh yeah, Bowser. I remember. Love that. I think I did it right. Did I do it? Oh. Yay! Yay! Oh, I've got a heart container. Let's go. Well, that was very cool. Oh, I didn't look at Bongo Bongo in HD. Should we do it again? No. Oh. Oh, I don't know about that. Don't know about the pattern. Yeah, no, we're not doing the fight again. But cool. You're gonna meet Impa. I don't think we've seen her before, have we? Oh no, we have. No, we definitely have. The boy with the noble Zelda's ocarina. Oh yeah. As I expected, you have come. I am Impa, one of the Sheikah, and I am Princess Zelda's caretaker. I am also the sage who guards the Shadow Temple. We Sheikah have served the royal family of Hyrule from generation to generation as attendants. However, on that day 7 years ago, Ganondorf suddenly attacked and Hyrule Castle surrendered after a short time. Ganondorf's target was one of the keys to the Sacred Realm, the hidden treasure of the royal family, the Ocarina of Time. My duty bound me to take Zelda out of Ganondorf's reach. When last I saw you, as we made our escape from Hyrule Castle, you were just a lad. Now I see you've become a fine hero. There's nothing to worry about. The princess is safe now. Soon you'll meet Princess Zelda face to face, and she will explain everything. That's when we, the 6 wise ones, will seal the evil king and return peace to Hyrule. I have to stay here. You go to Princess Zelda's side and protect her on my behalf. Now I put my power, which should be helpful to you, in this medallion. Yay! Thanks. I received the Shadow Medallion. Impa awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours. Please look out for the princess. Yay! Okay. I'm gonna go back to Kakariko and see what's up. But then we will wind it down very soon. Okay, it seems chill again. But there is no Sheik here. Sad times. So I assume if I go back to Hyrule Field, Navi will be like, ooh, maybe go to the Gerudo Desert. I'll wait for Navi to trigger a little yap moment. Tell you what I'll do, I'll go and get 2 more fairies from the fairy place that's over here. Navi's not yapping, is she? Whenever you want her to yap, she doesn't. And every other moment she refuses to show. Oh, I thought it was here. Apparently it's not. Right, but then apparently if I play Zelda's Lullaby here... Oh. It would help if I also equip the Ocarina. Apparently this gives me a fairy? Ah! It does. See, if I just run around a little bit, will she say something? It seems no, she won't. Girl's got nothing. She has got nothing for me. Okay, well. In that case, let me save and go back onto just chatting. And get me some music again. It's a vibe, sure. I love some boy bass. Okay, so thus concludes Bottom of the Well and Shadow Temple. That was a bit stressful, a bit traumatic. But oh well, what can you do, hey? What can you do? So, yeah, future plans then. I don't know when I'll stream next. Not tomorrow, because I'm busy. Then on Sunday, maybe? Maybe we could play some more Luigi's Mansion or something. Or maybe like No Man's Sky and then Luigi's Mansion on like Tuesday? I don't know, we'll see how we go. See how we go. But expect to stream either like on Sunday, but then probably on Tuesday I'll stream. Yeah. That's the plan. Okay. So, I will wind us down. Looking at who's on, there's nobody that I want to raid. Not even Small Ant Mum, so sad times. Mimi, if you are lurking and or are asleep, thank you for the sub today. I appreciate it. And Barry and Blair and Bailey and everybody, I appreciate you all for being here. I appreciate you all. Yeah. Oh my god, I've summoned her. Hi. Hi. Hello. I fell asleep, but I was here. That's okay. Thank you for the Steam. I'm good at Steam, thanks. You're welcome. I summoned her, yes, yes. Oh, if you all didn't see, I posted I'll call it a TikTok, but I posted it everywhere, of a clip of me and Mimi playing Fortnite. If you all didn't see that yet, or watch that on any of my socials. We're operating on 1% brain power. Yeah, that's fair. That's so fair, friend. That's so fair. Yeah, so next Ocarina of Time stream, we're going to head to Gerudo, which I'm very excited for. Banana. It wasn't actually that clip, Berry, it was a different one. But, yes, banana. Yes, well done. Are my bananas visible? No, they're behind. If you see my oven glove, like there, they're behind my oven glove. Yes, it was the car one, yeah. I was like, I need to make this a TikTok, so. Yes. What's the music gonna be? That's very slow paced. You're still obsessed with the banana clip. Should we expose Berry right now? How many views has it got? Because there's a direct correlation. 21 views! Oof. Oof. I'm sure myself and other people have watched them as well, but just saying, 21 views. Oh, you probably noted. Noted. Yeah. I think that's all I had. Yeah, it's still really hot in my room. I don't like this. I want it to be cool. I've had my fan on all evening and it's still heckin' roasting. This is not on. Also, a random... I assume a random bot has followed me. Oh no, it's another graphic designer. Surprised I didn't pop into stream and say hi, but okay. Somehow more hot now than it was during the day. I'm just baffled. I'm just baffled, but I don't like it. I'm not on board with this. Oh, got to change into a nice summer dress after work. I mean, fair. I'm literally just in my t-shirt and shorts, and I'm like, ugh. Ugh, this is not the one. But I'm gonna have to go to sleep, and I hate sleeping in the heat. Stinky. Maybe I shouldn't live in an attic. Thinking about it, maybe that was the wrong move for me. No, I do like it. I like it here, apart from the heat, because oh my god. Oh my god. T-shirt and jeans and lab coat. Ugh, that's grim. And I'm assuming there's no AC in the lab. That sucks. And then me gonna go to bed under the duvet. Well, I have a weighted blanket, and so I like sleeping under my weighted blanket. But if it's too hot, I just can't. Or like, I'll put it like over one of my legs, and what's that gonna do? Like a weighted blanket over one leg, who cares? But you know. You see, I know it's supposed to be temperature control, but it isn't. Like my workplace. There's supposed to be it. Nah, there's no reason there. We have a duvet and a fluffy blanket. I've got a duvet under the weighted blanket, but the duvet is very thin. And because it's under a weighted blanket, it's even thinner than it once was. So, you know. You know. Oh, it's really giving us all the Skyward Sword today. But sure, love that. Love some Skyward Sword. It just is. It's absolutely squashed. And so I'll have a duvet on top of my upper half, my legs fully sticking out. I've not got the strap. I don't know if I want my duvet up here and then my legs out, or over my legs and not my top off. I don't know. Weighted blankets are crazy. I've tried my sister before and it feels so strange. I love it. Yeah. It was the right move for me because it's like, oh, it's so good. It's just, oh, yeah. It was good. It wasn't bad strange, but it was unusual fair. I'm not sure you've told me that, bestie. Do you breathe when you're asleep? Like, are you good? Never have, okay. My sister's that actually. Really? Wow, okay. No, my parents were like, if you cover your face while you sleep, you're going to die in your sleep. So that's like where. That's, you know, my thing. Yeah. Oh, it was? Okay, fair. Fair enough. No, I must have forgotten that detail then. Noted. Yeah. Yeah, so now I must cover my face. Okay. Fun. Yeah. I don't know how many Ocarina of Time streams I've got left. It also means I can sleep with the lights on. Like, there's blankets over, lights hot? On? Hot? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by OHT. Out. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's true. That's true. I've got a strat for going to sleep with the lights on. Like, if I need a nap and it's daytime, I've got the best strat. I don't know if I've ever disclosed the strat before. Should I tell you my sleeping strat? Hang on. Okay, so I sleep, of course, with my glasses off because I'm not a psychopath. But if it's light outside and I'm like, I need to not be, I need to be darkness. Behold Snowbear. He looks at the camera. Snowbear, please. It is simple. It's so good because it's completely just blackout. It's so good. And it's really warm, and he's like a weighted blanket, but just from my face. But I can still like breathe out of my nose. Oh, it's the best. It's the best thing. It's so good. Where are my glasses? There they are. It's so good. The strap. Snowbear, yes. Oh, this is fun. I've shown you this before. I might have shown it on stream, I don't know. I love this music. Yeah. It's a whole vibe. Well, actually, I discovered the Snowbear strap. There. And then I found and bought a weighted eye mask. And it's just not as good. Like, it's not as good. It's not as good as Snowbear. Snowbear's OP. But yeah. That's my sleep strap. For like the daytime. As well, if you sleep until 11 AM. As I often do. It comes in handy then as well. If it ain't broke, truly. If it's not broke. I love him. Okay. Should I stop doing this? Because it's fast approaching 1 AM and I need to not be streaming. Yeah, so that can be the plan. Potentially a stream on Sunday, I don't know, but then I think a stream on Tuesday. Need to be up and ready for 9. No, go to bed. Go to bed. We'll end and then you can go bed. It's so okay. My plan for tomorrow is to go to the shops before it rains. That's what I need to do tomorrow. Oh yeah, right, Berry, are you in like 8 hours tomorrow? Like you should. Ooh, love that. 11:07. That's grim. But then why do you need to be up even earlier? But yeah, that's gross. I was going to go full work. Okay, yeah. Fair. That is gross. Oh yeah, but Barry, our manager's not in the morning. Our manager's only getting in at like 2 o'clock apparently, 2 o'clock tomorrow, which is why you're in early. But then, yes, this means I can't come home and go back to bed. What? Getting up, going out, going back to bed, then going to work. Do you mean? Yeah. Love that. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Got you. Oh yeah, but in so much it's different. Fair. Absolutely fair. Yeah. If right, I'm not doing this on stream, but if you get any tea tomorrow off our usual tea co-worker, but like a completely different branch of tea, tell me tomorrow. Tell me like after work tomorrow if you get any tea. Because I'll explain tomorrow, but like I'm curious. So when is manager in? Manager, right. Tea collection will be done. Okay. So manager is only going to be in, he doesn't quite know, but from like 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Probably like 2. Probably 2. Quality meme, Blair. Thank you. Unconscious people don't want tea. Oh, aquatic ambience. Let's go. Yeah, so Barry, he's going to another store. A local store this time. He's going to a local store tomorrow morning because apparently there is nobody available to open that store. So he's going to open the store. Like, right, okay. Just our company things, honestly. Just our company things. So yeah, anyway, his somebody else is coming to he's, I think, lone working. And then somebody else gets in at 1 o'clock. So at 1 o'clock it sounds like he's gonna leave the other store, and then however long the journey takes and getting there and stuff. Yeah, that seems to be the plan. Honestly, Mary, don't, like, just not even shocked at this stage. It's not one of the usual stores. It's not the one you go to and not the one I go to. It's another local store. But yeah. Just like, why? Why are we doing this? But, oh well. It'd be what it'd be, I think. It'd be like that. He's actually doing it. He's on a roll. What other stores do you need to go to? Because our cluster manager does 6 stores, doesn't he? I can think of 5 stores. Maybe not 6, well, I don't know. Oh, well. But yeah, no, he gets around as our manager, doesn't he? He gets around, that's for sure. Okay. Also, I emailed my school teacher today, and she hasn't replied yet, and I'm sad, because I want her to look. I sent like a long email as well. That's good to hear. Right. I love one of my school teachers, and we have each other's email address, and we do very occasionally email each other. So I would just send her an email like, hi. But like, I love her. So like, you know, it's okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no. I hope she replies. She does sometimes take a while to reply because she's like, ADHD tornado, like very like Elaine or Blair, like you, like you know what I mean. Very like doing lots of things all at once. Your school teacher is your nan's neighbour. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know where she lives actually. Huh? Don't worry, it's fine. Oh yeah. You're busy apparently. I mean, to be fair, you're getting up at what, 9 o'clock tomorrow to go to IKEA, so you can't say anything. This music is such a vibe. Such a vibe. It's also a little bit loud, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Right. I've said 3 times now that I should end stream, so 3rd time... No. 3 strikes and I'm out. I need to go. IKEA trip is for storage because I got into Warhammer recently. That's fair though. That's fair. I should get some storage, but I don't because the floor works fine for me. The floor's okay. But I could get some shelves or something, but no. Also, I don't know where IKEA is. Also, I haven't unpacked fully. Me neither. Me neither, Blair. Me neither. Like, that's fine. No, that's Gmail. I want Google Maps. Thank you. Right. If I put everything in boxes, if I, like, when I moved into this place, things were like, you know, I put things into the right boxes, like grouped together. So I know where they are because they're just in the boxes. Like, I've got a box of, like, cleaning supplies and it's just all in the box. It's great. So I'd leave them there. Right, where is the nearest IKEA? I searched IKEA and I get a result near the town centre for I am Flat Pack Man. What the fuck? Far, I figured, yeah. It's not good. But it's okay, because we've got I am Flat Pack Man. Spelt Pack Man, not like the game character. Oh, is it over there? Oh, yeah, no, that is a way, isn't it? That's a bit of a ways. Okay. You have fun with car, fair enough. Fair enough. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking, like, should I learn to drive? Like, I don't think I will, because, like, the amount I would need to drive is so small, but I feel like it would be handy. I'm just looking at my own house now on Google Maps. Fun. Oh, it's a month after I moved in. This photo was taken. That's cute. Yeah, you can't see in. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, no, it is a trek though. To get to the nearest IKEA. Okay, it's nearly 1 AM. Going, ending stream. Thank you all for watching. We're still not raiding anyone. Okay. Okay, I will go bed. Well, I will go and finish my video essay and then go to bed. So, yes. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, a YouTube reactor has just done reacting to Dalek for the first time. That would be good. I'll watch that as well. Nice. Love that. Okay, friends, let's go. Let's all go to bed. Let's all do that because we're in the UK and it's late for us. Okay. Yes. Love you, friends. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you soon.